Hello and welcome to episode 130 of Heroes of Handheld. We are reunited and it feels so good. My name is Chris and I'm joined by the man without a plan. It's Colin Byrne.
I will have you know, I always have a plan, man. But that sort of makes sense now because you've named this podcast, this YouTube video version, the video version. You've named it Reunited, and it feels so good. But I'm confused. Is it in reference to a song?
Yeah, it's a song, isn't it? It's Reunited and it feels so good.
That's one of my least favorite stereophonic songs.
I don't think it's so. Is this? No, it's not so phonic.
It's not a song. You've just made that up, and we all know it. You're a liar. But I'll tell you something that I'm really into at the moment. Is that nothing's gonna harm me with my eyes shut. I can see through them. I can see through them.
Reunited and it feels so good was a hit song for the R&B vocal duo Peaches and Herb.
That's my favorite dessert type.
Came out in 1978. You were alive back then. You must remember.
That was a great year. We watched Dad's Army and Porridge and Blackadder. It was a great year to be alive. Now, talking of years to be alive, now, it has been quite a long time since we last did a podcast, Christopher. And I was compiling a list of things that have happened since our last proper podcast. So what I've discovered through my research so far is that since we last did the podcast, man has walked on the moon.
Really?
Very first computer animated film came out, Toy Story 1, that came out.
Oh wow, yeah, I must try and see that actually.
And also the automobile was invented.
Wow.
All these things.
Busy 2 weeks.
Yeah, so you can tell I was planning that joke for about over a week now. So, and all I could think of was those three things. So I'm not very good at thinking of jokes. I shouldn't be a stand-up comedian. That's the moral of that story. But it has been a while since we did a podcast, so apologies, everybody. We weren't here last week due to life stuff, and life stuff is me being ill and Chris moving out of the Pineapple building in London.
I'm in the Gherkin now.
It's
all right.
Yeah, he's moved across the street. He's still living in the top, so there's a tip.
I'm eyeing up the cheese grater for my next move.
Wow. Oh my God, can you imagine living on the cheese grater?
Oh, don't it? Would be amazing.
A bit grating after a while. That's the best I could come up with. Come on, let's give me that one. But we are, oh God, we are Heroes of Handheld. We are the world's premium podcast dedicated to handheld gaming, and we like to talk about handheld gaming because that's what we play. We own Vitas, 3DSs. But before we do anything else, I know we've got quite a bit of news, and you know how much Chris loves it when I deviate from the path. But a few weeks ago, I think it was 3 weeks ago, we did our last proper podcast. We're not going to mention. We're not going to reference that podcast we did in the coffee shop.
Oh no, never speak of that again. People on Twitter did not react positively to it.
No, it's not going to be.
It's not going in for the Sony, is it?
No, it's not. It's not going in the Best Bits podcast. It's not happening. But the week before, Chris ended the episode by dropping a bit of a bombshell on everybody. So,
oh yeah, I dropped the mic, didn't I?
You dropped the mic and you ran. So I want Chris to once again say what he said at the end of that podcast and maybe explain himself a little bit. Go.
So I dropped the bomb that I had decided to sell my PlayStation Vita, which was a difficult decision, Colin. But I decided that it was for the best because, right? I know people listening aren't going to be happy with this. That's fine. You're the Vita man. I'm the Nintendo man. No one slagged you off when you sold your 2DS. So I just want people to bear that in mind, all right? I wasn't playing it. There's nothing coming out soon that makes me that excited to be still owning one. And I found that the PS4 connection thing was a bit crap. So, those three reasons were pretty good ones in my eyes to trade it in and get a little bit of the old moolah for it.
Well, to me, it feels like we've gone full circle because when we started doing this podcast back in whenever it was, I had the Vita, you had the 3DS, and that was it. But then over the past few years, we sort of dabbled in the other's pot, in the other's pie. We've stuck our fingers in the other person's pie. I got a 2DS, Chris got a PlayStation Vita. And, we we had some high points. We had some fun memories of our time, but ultimately we went back to our roots. And
yeah, I mean, like, I don't get me wrong, right? I liked the Vita a lot when it felt like there was stuff coming out for it, and when it was like an active community. But like, I guess I just lost interest in it. And then once you get a because for me, once I got a PS4, it's like, well, I don't really have much time to play Vita anymore, because a lot of the games that I'm excited for on Vita will probably come out on PS4, and I can play them looking nice on my sofa rather than cramped up in an armchair.
But then, surely you're not the target demographic for the PlayStation Vita, because I guess people who are going to own a PlayStation Vita are people who have not potentially got access to, the big consoles.
Yeah,
and
maybe
don't find time to sit down in front of their telly and play their consoles. But then I have a next gen. I have a current gen console, and I still play on my Vita. So you're just a big shit, basically. That's
what it is. Hey, how are you finding Pokemon on the 2DS?
Oh, it was fantastic. But no, I'm not surprised you traded in, to be honest, because you weren't playing it. I remember when I came around to yours a few weeks ago, and you literally had to do 20 updates because you hadn't played it in so long.
Yeah, I know. I was only turning it on every time you were coming over, and then it wouldn't update in time anyway by the time that you had to leave.
That is a shame, but I mean, you're playing loads of games on your 3DS, aren't you? So it's not as if like, you're leaving the handheld gaming spectrum.
Yeah, and I'm playing more stuff on my phone as well. So
yeah, that's good. Talking actually, I know we used to do that feature, free game of the week. We've sort of forgotten about it, but I've been playing a game on my iPhone over the past week. I'm really addicted to it. It's called, if I can load it, Basketball. It's not just called Basketball. I think it's called Basketball Stars. It's called, and it's by our good friends at miniclip.com. Everyone's favorite old website when they're wasting time at school. But it's really addictive. It's similar to their other games. There's another game that they created called 8-Ball Pool, which I've spoken about.
Yeah,
before.
you loved that. I remember it.
Still do. It's very addictive. It's just basically a pool game. You play against people around the world, and it's fun. And this is a similar idea, except it's basketball. And you get matched up against someone else from around the world, and you've got to dunk as many baskets within about 30 seconds. You've got to dunk more than your opponent, basically. And you can do that by getting streaks of getting perfect shots, by hitting the backboard and getting it in, things like that. It's a very simple concept. There's two different game modes. There's a shooting race, which is when you have to score more points than your opponent. And then there's attacker defender, which is when you take it in turns. One person attacks, one person defends, and you have to get more points. It's free to download. It's really addictive. It's called Basketball Stars. I definitely recommend it if you've got an iPhone or a Android device, because it's a fun game. You can pick it up for a few seconds and, well, literally a few seconds, play a game which is 30 seconds long, put it down again, and then be on your way. But just so you're aware, you do need an internet connection to really fully enjoy it, because it's mostly an online game. There is an offline mode, but that's just an endless trying to score baskets, so it's not very exciting. But I'll definitely recommend Basketball Stars. Miniclip are very good at these little mobile games. Making addictive games. I believe it was Miniclip who were behind that Agario game that we played before, where you're the little dots, more dots. I think that was Miniclip. Probably might be wrong. If anyone else knows, let me know. But they've done quite a lot of exciting, well, not exciting, but they've done quite a lot of addictive mobile games recently. But a game that I'm going to be playing soon. It's in the chart, the top 10 apps on the iPhone store at the moment. It's a Disney game. I'm a big fan of Disney, as people probably know. It's similar to all these other games where you create, those games where you create.
Oh, yes, I saw the trailer for it earlier this week.
Yes.
So my other half's been playing it quite a lot.
Cool.
Because she's like you, she's a big Disney fan.
She has The Simpsons, doesn't she? I love The Simpsons.
Yeah, they're actually just looking at me as I podcast. So it's. I'm going to be honest, Colin. I don't think you're going to like it that much.
Why is that, Chris?
Because I've never known you to get into these sorts of games when you have to... So did you play Simpsons Tapped Out?
I didn't play that game. I didn't play the Family Guy one either. But one game I was really into was the Sims game.
It's that kind of thing. Like, you get your different characters. It's not... I just don't think you're going to be into it. And it's a bit pants.
What? It's Disney, and you make isn't it? You make a theme park.
You are rebuilding a theme park. That's true. We'll embed a trailer. What's the game title again?
I don't know the name of it. It's better something really obvious like Disney. Disney, yeah, Magic Kingdom or something like that. But you can, I don't know, I just love the trailer where you can choose from the stars from Monsters Inc., Tangled, or Lion King. Come on, Tangled, amazing film. I might give it a go, but you're right, I've never really been into those sort of games. The only one, as I said, that probably fits into that genre is the Sims game, which I was really addicted to back when I first got my iPad. But I'll dabble. I'll give it a go. It's Disney, so I like a bit of Disney every now and then. So yeah, have you been playing any mobile apps or games this week, Chris?
Just a Fallout game. Just the blood. Oh, and I've been playing the Star Wars app as well because I want to get some more credits when the update drops this evening.
What's the Star Wars app? Tell me more about that.
Oh, there's a new update coming to Star Wars Battlefront, Colin. Oh boy. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I'm rubbing my thighs with excitement.
You're still playing Battlefront then?
Oh, yeah, I have been playing Battlefront quite a lot.
Great. Right. So, I mean, I thought you'd sort of gone off it a little bit.
Well, you'd think that, and yet here I am playing it again.
Fantastic. So what does this app do? Yeah, it gives you more points.
It lets you win money basically to use in the game by doing a kind of tower defense card game type thing on the side. We've talked about it on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
but I've been playing that a lot, really. Not much else.
But it's cool. You're playing a lot of companion apps, and talking of apps and games and nominations and awards. Whilst we were away, the video game
we got nominated for an
Oh well, that's for next week's podcast. We got nominated for a Razzie. Maybe.
Yeah.
So the awards, the nominations for the 2016 BAFTA Video Game Awards were released whilst we were away. This was on the 10th of March. The award ceremony is going to take place in London on I believe it's the 9th of April, I think it is. 7th of April, sorry. So obviously me and Chris will be there representing Heroes of Handheld. We've got our invites, we've got our tuxedos ready. It's going to be a fantastic day. There's going to be pictures of us on the red carpet. It really is going to be great. But there's loads of different categories here. But the ones that we care about, obviously, are the best handheld game and mobile games. So for mobile and handheld games, Chris, have you seen these nominations?
I'm just looking at them now.
Yeah, so there's 6 games nominated for best mobile and handheld game. I'm not going to lie, a lot of these I've not heard of, but I know one of them which Chris has been obsessed with, or maybe your roommate was, and I'll read that one last. So the 6 games that are nominated for best mobile and handheld game. Firstly, we've got Alpha Bear, which I'm not familiar with. So I'm hoping Chris is going to Google these as I say them.
Yes, let's do that. Alpha
Bear, as in the animal. Alpha Bear.
Oh, it's a Spry Fox. They made that Panda Numbers game from ages ago.
Oh, right.
Panda Poet it was called. It's like a puzzle game, App Store, Android, original world puzzle game. Doesn't look great. Move on.
Well, it's nominated. Next one is Her Story.
Her Story, I'm just looking up right now. Her Story is it's a Steam game, and it's an interactive movie game written and directed by Sam Barlow. Came out in June. Oh, it's one of those ones where you're talking to this lady and she's telling you about stuff that's happened. It's a detective game.
So what you're saying is it's Her Story.
Yeah, it's literally Her Story.
The next one is Lara Croft Go.
We know that one. That's the like Hitman Go, but with Lara Croft.
Hitman Go actually came out on Vita a few weeks ago, and it's been reviewed very well, which is nice to hear. Now, I think did you play Lara Croft Go?
No, I played Hitman Go.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's the same sort of thing, the board game sort of.
It's a kind of puzzly chess PC vibe. Looks at the pictures. I'm looking at Google Images.
Cool. Next, we've got Prune, like the fruit. Prune. That's another game that's nominated in this list of the
Prune. You play as a big red ball, and it's a game about beauty and the joy of cultivation.
Okay.
You have to grow. You're growing a tree. It's looking a bit wanky, if I'm honest.
A bit wanky. There should be an award for the best wanky-looking game. The next one is The Room.
The Room, presumably not based on the Oscar-winning film.
I actually really want to see that film. Room looks really cool.
iOS. The Room is a 2012 puzzle video game. I don't know why it's on Android and iOS.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah.
Oh no, there was a game that came out years ago, which was like an escape game where you had to escape from a room.
A mystery game, a beautifully tactile 3D world, and a physical puzzler, apparently, on the App
Hmm.
Store for 80p.
80p, not bad. Right, so the one game I've left out here, which I think you're going to be excited about for best mobile and handheld game. Before I say what it is, can you guess what it is? I think it's one you can...
Fallout. It's going to be Fallout. It's going to be Vault Shelter.
Yeah, Fallout Shelter is also nominated here. I'm assuming you'll be voting for that one then.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Nice.
I love that game to pieces.
I remember when I came around yours that time, you were playing it quite a lot. I mean, I'm just having a look at these other games to see if there's any other... Well, there's obviously a lot of indie games on here. Whether there's many handheld games. Not really. I mean, Best British Game. This is interesting. Tearaway Unfolded is nominated for Best British Game.
Nice.
Which was the full version of Tearaway. Until Dawn. I didn't realize that was a British game. Prison Architect. Her Story again. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. And Batman Arkham Knight is also nominated for Best British Game. Obviously made by our boys at Rockstar. Hopefully that'll win. Because I've got to play an Xbox One now, I'm looking to invest in Arkham Knight. I'm finally ready to play it, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, it is very good. I would recommend it.
Looking at these other games here, I mean, Rocket League's nominated for quite a few here. That's a game I'm interested in playing. That's that football game, isn't it, where you're like in a car?
Yeah, the sequel to Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Power Battle Cars.
I don't know if you're joking or not, so I'm just going to roll with it.
Nope.
No.
Okay, sure.
Okay, there we go. So there we go. So there's a load of different games. There's sort of a load of different categories here. So story, best sport game, persistent game, performer. Yeah, that should be platform. Oh, performer, person performing in the game. Fair enough. Original property, blah blah blah. You can read the whole list here. It's all over the internet, but I'm sure Chris will put a link so you can read all the different nominations and categories there. But we are... It's so good having a cough switch because I can cough and you can't hear me. We're deviating from the path, but I want to quickly talk about some Telltale stuff before we get into the main meaty news. So I'm a big fan of Telltale. Okay. Obviously, the geniuses behind the Walking Dead game, the Game of Thrones game, The Wolf Among Us, and many others as well. So in the past few weeks, there's been a shit ton of news relating to Telltale. But the first thing I want to say is that recently they released the mini-series Walking Dead Michonne, which is... obviously, the Telltale game you know and love, where you make decisions and you have to, it's a good story, blah, blah, blah. So it's all about the character of Michonne, who's obviously a very popular character in the comic book series and the TV show. And it focuses on her. There's a few episodes in the comic book where she disappeared for about 10 issues, I think. So this explores the story of what she did while she wasn't with the main group.
And she's voiced by one of our girls from Orange is the New Black, isn't she?
Really? Oh.
Yeah, she's voiced by the actor who plays Pusey. True story.
She's not voiced by the person who plays her in the...
I thought was interesting, but no, not. She's voiced by the lady from Orange is the New Black.
Oh, well, that's cool. Well, whoever voices her, she is very, very good. So it's a mini-series. There's going to be 3 episodes. The first one is out, and I actually played the first one. And you know what, Chris? I even recorded myself playing it. So... if you so fancy, you can watch me play episode 1 of Walking Dead Michonne miniseries on YouTube. And we're even going to put the link in the article. So I'm sure you want to watch me play.
Is that on a handheld channel?
Sorry?
On the Heroes of Handheld channel?
I'm afraid I do have a life outside of this podcast, Chris. So it's actually on my own personal channel. So many funny and exciting videos for you there. You can watch some vlogs.
Watching there, why don't you find out about Salisbury?
That was the best one. Anyway, actually over 1,000 views on 2 of my videos. I'm just saying. So yeah, it's a really... Anyway, just spoiler alert, it's very good. It's the same Telltale you know and love. The engine's a little bit cranky, a little bit clunky now, a lot of lag. Not many major decisions you have to make in episode 1, but that's normally the case with Telltale. They normally don't bring out the big game changers till later on in the series. But because there's only 3 episodes, it's going to be interesting to see how they quickly move the story along. But that was just one thing I wanted to talk about. Now, out of all these news stories, the one I'm potentially the most excited about is the fact, Chris, that Walking Dead Season 3, the first episode will be out by the end of the year of season 3.
That's amazing. That's
Get
so soon.
hyped. Now, this is going to be very interesting. Now, me and Chris aren't going to spoil what happened at the end of season 2 of the Walking Dead Telltale game, but let's just say there was quite a few different endings you could have gotten depending on your choices. And I know me and Chris I think we had very different endings.
Yeah, we did. We trusted different people.
So I think, Chris, you speculated that what they would do, rather than address all these different endings that players would have potentially gotten, you thought they would do go 10 years in the future or 20 years in the future and see where Clementine is then, basically.
It's good because the endings are so stark and so different. There's no way that they can make 9 different starts to the game and have it all fit together. So I think, advance it even not even 10 years, even half a year, and then you're 6 months later and you find out where she is now and what's going on with the baby and all that kind of stuff.
Chris, the CEO of Telltale Games has been speaking to Mashable. His name is Kevin Bruner, and he has said that when they were developing season 2, they had plans in the back of their head as how they would address all these different endings in season 3.
Really? Wow.
So they're saying...
Write me down and hit me over the head.
Now, they've said that season 3 is going to be taking an unexpected approach. What that means, not many people know at the moment. But, I mean, the way he's talking is that it looks like they are going to address all the different endings at the end of season 2. But it may be that they're going to try and do it in such a way that no matter what ending you chose, it's all going to link into the same story, if that makes sense. So no matter what ending you chose, they're going to somehow make it fit into season 3, the beginning. I mean, I'm quite interested to see how they're going to tackle this because, I mean, it's not only a little bit different. There are major differences depending on your choices here. So not only characters you're with, but where you are in the world is different.
And also who's alive, who's dead, who's killed who hasn't killed who.
Exactly.
Big moral choices.
Now, the interesting quote is that he said, what they're going to be doing with season 3, it is not from the bag of tricks that we've ever shown anybody before.
Wow.
So there we go. So I'm just going to read the quote he said here. From a role-playing interactive storytelling point of view, it is not from the bag of tricks that we've ever shown anybody before. The way that we're dealing with and validating and retaining all those different playthroughs is really cool and unexpected. And I think pretty innovative, I can never say that word, innovative from the storytelling point of view. So they've got a plan to make sure that everyone's playthrough, it links into season 3. And the fact he's saying that is quite an interesting and different way and unexpected, really hope that means that they are going to reference all the different endings. And it's not going to be, as you said, it's going to be unexpected because you're going to be with a different person in a different world, a different part of the world. And it's going to have nothing to do with Clementine. So wait and see. But the most interesting thing, I guess, is the fact that the first episode is going to be out before the end of the year. And I'm really surprised about this because Telltale are working on quite a lot of different games at the moment. Obviously, they've got the Borderlands one. They've got the Minecraft one.
But aren't those out? Aren't those finished? I thought those were finished.
The Minecraft one, I don't think Minecraft is finished yet. I think they've got about 2 more episodes left of that one. I'm not too sure about Tales from the Borderlands. Now, that one may be finished. I'm not too sure. I want to play that one because
Minecraft Story Mode Episode 5 comes out at the end of March. Tales from the Borderlands, as he loads up the Wikipedia. Episode 5 came out. Doesn't say when it came out.
Okay,
so... but I think that but they've got the they've kind of have slowed down a little bit.
But talking of other things they're working on, the Batman game.
Yes.
So now this is something we've mentioned before. They are working on a Batman game, Telltale. Now this is exciting because the character of Batman is really interesting. Bruce Wayne and his methods with dealing with criminals is very interesting. He refuses to kill anybody, and obviously he has his nemesis is like the Joker and people like that who always put that ethos to the test. So it's very, very interesting, this one. And we've had a few more facts. And this makes me even more excited, Chris, because Telltale Batman is going to be out this summer.
Wow, that's soon.
Away. And what's really interesting is in this article, I'm looking, the website is called Pocket-Lint. great website name. But apparently, I think I shouldn't be too surprised about this. But before they even start working on the design of the game and how it's going to look, they work on the script and finalize that first. So from what I'm looking at in this article here and what they're saying at Telltale, they've barely even touched on how the game is going to look because they're focusing so much on the story. And there's a picture of a ring binder here, which has the first draft of the story, the Batman Telltale game. And it's huge. It's absolutely, it's like thousands of pages here. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do. As you'd expect, they're keeping it a secret as to which villains are going to be appearing in the game. You're going to be playing as Bruce Wayne and a Batman in equal measure. So you'll be playing as Bruce Wayne, and then you'll be putting on your costume and playing as Batman in the evenings as well. Depending on your choices, you can either go down the redemption route or the corruption route. So similar to most Telltale games, there's two ways of dealing with a situation. You can either punch someone until they give you the information and be a bit of an asshole, or you can use your charm and your interrogation skills to get the information out of criminals, which I think is very interesting. And they've said it's going to be a very gritty game. It's going to be R-rated as well, so it's going to be very dark. It's not going to be for those kids. It's not going to be like the 1980s or 70s Batman with Adam West. It's going to be very similar to the Christopher Nolan style Batman. But I mean, in terms of the art style, they said that it's going to be very comic booky looking. So I'm hoping the art style will be similar to The Wolf Among Us, that sort of style, which I really liked. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Apparently, decisions you make as Bruce Wayne will affect what happens when you're playing as Batman as well. So everything's linked. All your decisions are linked once again. But I'm a big Batman fan, so I think this is going to be really interesting as well. And apparently it's not going to focus on any of Batman's sidekicks or allies like Robin or Nightwing. But Telltale confirms you can expect to see the likes of Alfred, Vicky Vale, James Gordon, and Renee Montoya. I don't know who that is. Who's Renee Montoya?
I think she's a police person. I think it's yeah. I think it's good actually because you don't want them to like overcomplicate it.
No,
and like just Batman is good. That's the way, and Bruce Wayne obviously is the way to play it. I think
the Joker has to be in there somewhere. Surely.
Why does he have to be?
Because he's just so iconic. When you think of Batman, the first villain or criminal or enemy he has you think of is the Joker. I'd say if there was a pointless study of 100 people and people said name Batman villains, I reckon the top answer would be the Joker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you're 100% right.
Exactly, but I think it would be nice if they went down the route of a different criminal, a different villain. But I don't know. I mean, there's so many awesome ones. There's obviously Two-Face. There's Deadshot. I think that's one of them. Who else? Oh, the Scarecrow as well. That's another.
Scarecrow's good. I'm hoping for Man Bat.
I'm hoping for Calendar Man. He's my fave.
We can but dream.
So that's the latest info on that. We can expect that in the summer at some point. So look forward to that. And the last thing about Telltale is that a big gripe that people have had with Telltale over the years is and also sorry for another piece of information for the Batman game. They're working on a new engine apparently for the Batman game. So hopefully we won't see any more lag or annoying slowdowns or frame rate issues.
That's good because it's currently pretty hard to use, isn't it?
It can be, especially on Vita. So that's good that they're working on a completely new system there. Last bit of information is the fact that obviously you can play Telltale games on so many different platforms. For example, you can play it on your mobile, your tablet, you can play it on Vita, you can play it on Xbox, PlayStation. It's pretty much on every single form of entertainment gaming device, and a lot of people they go from different device to device. So I started playing The Walking Dead Telltale on my Xbox and ended up playing it on my PlayStation Vita in the end. And obviously I had to start all over again when I got it on Vita. But Telltale are looking into ways of some sort of cloud save system. So in future, if you started playing the game on, if you played a few episodes on your iPad and then wanted to continue on your Xbox, they're looking into ways of how you can do that by keeping the choices you've already made. So it'd be really interesting how they do that. They're looking in, as I said, to a form of cloud save system. and making it easy for people to port their saves over. So, I'd be very interested to see if they do that. I think it's going to be quite difficult to do, and we wait and see whether that will be applicable to the PlayStation Vita versions, because we're still waiting for a lot of different Telltale games to reach the PlayStation Vita. But it's really good. I think this is be good, because obviously there are so many different ways you can play these games, and it can be a bit of a pain if you start playing 2 episodes of a game, then want to continue playing on your Vita or your Xbox, and you have to start all over again, and use this choose.
Well, also a lot of them came out a generation ago. Like the original Walking Dead game was out on PS3, and now presumably the next one's going to be out on PS4. So it's like there should be some way of moving everything across.
Yes, so it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. I'm very looking forward to that. I think there's one last thing I was going to say on it, but I can't remember. But basically, the Walking Dead season 3 is coming out soon. By the end of this year, episode 1 will be here for season 3. Batman Telltale is coming out this summer. And I'm sure they've got other games in the pipeline as well. I'm still hoping for The Wolf Among Us Season 2. That was fantastic. I'd say The Wolf Among Us was one of my favorite Telltale games.
Yeah, I think it's the best one they've done.
It's absolutely brilliant, that one. And another thing as well, the Easter sale is currently on the PlayStation Vita on PSN, and you can get the entire series of The Wolf Among Us for £4.99. Every single episode.
That's amazing.
That's an absolute bargain. If you have not played it yet, you've got no excuse now. I mean, even if you don't like comic books or anything, or the fantasy setting, just watch it for the opening title sequence, which gave me goosebumps every time I watched it. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's all my Telltale news done. So enough of that. Let's actually talk about some handheld games, shall we?
Yes.
Chris
Hello. Oh, hi. It's nice to get the chance to chat to you. I thought we would start off with the Nintendo stuff by taking a second. A lot of this stuff happened last week, just to kind of put a bit of a break in, because there was 2 really sad bits of news last week about different Nintendo franchises. So I thought, first of all, we should just talk for a second about a chap called Eric Medali, who was a creative design director at the Pokemon Company and an illustrator for Pokemon as well, who passed away in a freak accident, this sort of trafficky car thing, horrible, last week. So I just thought we should take a second to have a little, just to pause. And also the one of the team from Professor Layton, they've called him the puzzle master here, Akira Tago, passed away. He's a Japanese psychologist and professor. He passed away at the age of 90. He's been credited on a couple of games as the puzzle master because he's worked on Professor Layton and also the Head Gymnastics book series. So yeah, it's it's very sad. Obviously, he was 90 years old, and Eric in the Pokemon Company was younger than that, but it's a second. But something a bit more news, more positive news is that in America this weekend is, Colin, I know you've had this in your diary for ages. It's the spring edition of the National Street Pass weekend. So from March 25th to March 27th, you'll be able to collect up to 6 Street Pass tags from across North America when you stop by a Nintendo Zone location. On the Nintendo site, they've also plugged a load of games which are making use of this, so including Hyrule Warrior Legends, which is just coming out this week, and Yoko Workshop and all this kind of stuff. But you can find your nearest Nintendo Zone hotspot on the Nintendo website. We'll put it up. But yeah, if you one right, well, you're going to take your Nintendo out and get passes, this is the weekend to do it. Because there's going to be lots of people doing it, and every time you go past the Nintendo Zone, you can get loads of people, and hopefully you can fill up those nice new puzzles. I've been filling up the Final Fantasy puzzle, and it's been going quite well so far. So yeah, this weekend, North America Street Pass weekend, get on it. Colin, back to you.
You're lucky though, because you're in central London, where everyone has like a Nintendo device, and everywhere.
I'll tell you what, Zone. I took my Nintendo to the Shrek experience.
Oh,
which I went to.
How was the Shrek experience?
It was good. That's not for this podcast. We'll talk about it off air. Loads of street passes there. Oh boy, it was a popular destination. Sorry, I've got a wedgie. I'm trying to sort it out. So,
I'm trying to think.
This weekend, StreetPass weekend, get on it.
What's your favorite DreamWorks film? There's a question for you.
How to Train Your Dragon.
That is a good film, but isn't it more style over substance with that one?
No. Shut up. It's great. What's yours?
Interesting debate.
Shrek 2 is really good as well.
I'm partial to the first Shrek.
Yeah.
I think that is easily the best one. I mean, was Ice Age? Ice Age was Sony Animation. That wasn't DreamWorks. Was it?
No, Ice Age was the other one. Blue something.
Yeah, Blue Sky, wasn't it? A big fan of Ice Age 1, even though that's not DreamWorks. Trying to think what else. I mean, I went and saw Kung Fu Panda 3 at the cinema recently, and that actually wasn't that bad.
I quite like the Kung Fu Pandas. I think they're quite nice.
All right. I mean, the problem with DreamWorks is they have a great idea, and then they just like keep bashing the films out.
They rinse it into the ground, don't they?
Exactly. Cool. Right. That's cool. So that's good. That March is here. It's actually March. It's not March. It's officially spring now, Chris. This is so exciting.
No, it's Easter this weekend as well.
You got your Easter eggs?
Oh yes.
Oh yes, I bought a pound Easter eggs and ate the whole thing the other day.
Well, cool story. What's your first bit of Vita news?
Right, now this is sort of hot off the press. This article is from 13. Well, when I first found it about an hour ago, it's 13 minutes ago. So now it's an hour and 13 minutes ago. I found this on the PlayStation Vita subreddit on Reddit, of course. And it's news of another app. The support for an app has been dropped soon. So on June the 22nd, there will now no longer be Skype support on PlayStation Vita or PlayStation Portable, so PSP. And it's to be expected, really. I'm not surprised, but it sort of makes you wonder, what are people going to use the front-facing camera for now? There seems to be no use for it now. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And also doing those stupid gimmicky things in Uncharted Golden Abyss. We had to put your Vita over a light or something stupid like that.
Hated that, didn't you?
Oh, it wasn't great. So yeah, from June the 22nd, there will no longer be any support for Skype on PlayStation Vita. Now, this is very sad for me, because back when we first started the podcast, I used to use my Vita as the way of putting Skype into my mixing desk and recording Chris. So it's good to do that anymore, because I'll be a bit screwed. So PlayStation Online supports King Gobo explained about the Skype app being removed from the PlayStation Store. And this is what he said. On the 22nd of June, Sony Computer Entertainment will end support for the Skype application on PlayStation Vita and the Skype feature for PSP. From the 22nd of March, the Skype application for PlayStation Vita will be removed from the PlayStation Store. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause, and we appreciate your understanding. Why would we understand? He's not giving us any reasons. I don't get it. So if you haven't got the Skype app on your Vita, you can't get it anymore because it's been removed from the store. So there you go. From the 22nd of June, there'll be no more support for it, which is quite a shame, because I think the PlayStation Vita Skype app is actually quite good. It's very functionable. I mean, my two favorite apps I had on my Vita back when I used them was the YouTube app and the Skype app. The YouTube app I thought was actually really, really good. Then they stopped support for that about a year ago, which was sad. I mean, recently they stopped support for the Facebook app, for the Near app as well, which isn't a surprise because the Facebook app was terrible. But yeah, this is just once again another app that's been added to the list of things they're not supporting anymore. I mean, did you use the Skype app at all, Chris, on your Vita?
No, I don't think we ever did. I'm trying to think if I ever used it to talk to you. I just don't think. I think I might have used it once when my phone wasn't working, but.
Well, that's the thing. Like, there's so many different devices that have Skype now. There's no point having it on your Vita because you can just have it on your phone.
It's on everything, isn't it?
Same with the Facebook app and the YouTube app. All these things are on so many different platforms. It's just not worth it anymore. But I'm still waiting for that Netflix app to come out on my Vita. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
You'll be waiting a while.
I think you're right there. So yeah, that was my bit of sad news to start off there. Did you want to do another bit of news, or should I do another one?
Yeah, I've only got a couple more bits. This is a rumor, but it's quite good. It's coming from Vooks.net. It's a rumor that download Nintendo DS games are coming to the 3DS as My Nintendo Rewards. So in Japan last week, My Nintendo and Miitomo launched, and people have been playing around with it by using their Japanese consoles and accessing it. And yes, apparently Nintendo DS games are coming to the 3DS as rewards. So you'll be able to collect points save up and treat yourself to a little something. So the first one that they've been able to see is the DSiWare game, WarioWare Touched. This is now, however, if you try to see it on the website, it's been taken off. So maybe it wasn't meant to launch yet. I don't know. This is quite a lot of DS games haven't been accessible on the 3DS unless you have the actual cartridge, and they've kind of been refusing to add it. So definitely, this is good news if it does go ahead. I also thought it was point that I was quite excited for. The reviews have started coming out for it, and they're mixed to moderate. So it comes out on the new 3DS and the 3DS and the 2DS, and apparently the 2DS and the 3DS version is just not worth it at all. Really slow, really choppy. But this is according to I was reading the IGN review earlier from Jose Otero. The IGN review said that the new 3DS version is better, but it's still not great. And I'm a bit let down because I played the demo last week and I thought it was really solid, really, really solid. So I'm a bit let down.
Which game was this?
Hyrule Warriors Legends, Colin Byrne. Thanks for listening. All the best.
Oh no, your connection cut out as you said the name of it, but I didn't want to interrupt. Hyrule Warriors
Legends. So this is the Dynasty Warriors cross with Zelda. I played the demo last week. I tweeted about it. I really liked it. I thought it was really fun. But it looks like the reviews are kind of saying it's not really very good.
So basically, you run around killing endless hordes of enemies just dressed as Link. And that's basically...
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wow. But you said it was fun, though. You enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked the demo, but, it's not been reviewing great.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a gimmick, really, doesn't it? But I do like Samurai Warriors. Those games are fun. If not, they're exactly the same every time, but they are still fun. I think a bit of mindless button mashing never hurt anyone. Right, let's have a look. So,
what's next in Sony?
So there's a few different bits of news here, but potentially the most exciting one. Now, I spoke about this a few weeks ago, and there's a game called Zero Time Dilemma, which is coming out to 3DS and PlayStation Vita. Chris was a bit unhappy because I started talking about it a few weeks ago as if it was like this brand new game, and turns out Chris has been talking about it for the past year or so. But this is a graphic novel coming to Vita and 3DS developed by Spike Chunsoft. I hope I'm saying that right. A new trailer has been released for this game, and it's revealed that the game will be coming to North America and Europe on June the 28th for PlayStation Vita and Nintendo 3DS, which is very exciting. And that's 2 days before it ships to Japan on June the 30th. So not very long to wait now for this game. Now, normally I'm not a big fan of the graphic novel. Not graphic novel. Is that right? The name for it? What's it called when it's like?
Yeah.
Visual novel, not graphic novel. Visual novel. Sorry, I'm saying graphic novel. The visual novel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But this game, the story really interests me because basically a group of people are locked in a bunker underground, and obviously they've got to try and escape. It's sort of like the storyline to Saw, really. They've got to escape from this bunker. But the only way they can escape, there's 9 people. I think they need to get 6 passwords, but the only way they can get the password is by someone dying. So basically 6 people need to die before 3 of them can escape. So you choose who dies, or you can try and find out a way of saving everyone without killing anyone. But this sounds really interesting. It's called Zero Time Dilemma and Zero Escape Free. I think it's the third one. I'm not too sure. Maybe it is, not too sure. But it's coming out to Vita and 3DS on the same day in Europe on June the 28th. So you know what? Me and Chris should both buy it at the same time and both play it and talk about it. Wouldn't that be fun? I'm sure Chris is excited about this as well. Is he?
Oh, I can wait. I'm very thrilled. Do you want my last thing?
I want your last thing all over me. Give me your last thing.
Okay, so this is something. UK artist has made an enormous Pikachu mosaic using Pokemon cards. It's 12,987 Pokemon cards. It's 10 meters tall. It's 7 meters wide. It came out. You're not into this. It looks amazing. It's a huge mosaic made out of Pokemon cards.
Let me find the picture. Here we go.
And it's in the it's mainly made up of yellow energy cards because obviously they're yellow, and it's kind of in the shape of the original Pikachu card that came out. It looks so cute. I'm really into this. We'll put some pictures up on our website so you can have a look at this.
That is really cool. I like they've got someone dressed up as Pikachu as well at the front in one of the pictures, just to milk it a bit more. So, are all the cards that are used, are they all Pikachu cards that are used, or are they different Pokemon cards?
So I think no, all different ones. They've used the yellow energy card a lot, because they need like a yellow background. Yeah. But I think it looks really nice. I'm into it.
It's cool. I love people who do things like this. That's nice. So that's cool. A nice bit of happy news to end your segment. But I've got two more bits of news. So the first one is that this week a game was released on PlayStation Vita very slyly, and people weren't expecting it. Now, it had gone very quiet on the XCOM Enemy Unknown Plus information, which was coming to PlayStation Vita. So this is a extended version of XCOM Enemy Unknown, which is a game I'm not very familiar with. I think it's a strategy game about aliens.
Yeah. Isometric, shooty, killing aliens type job.
So there was a plus version of this game coming to Vita, but it went very quiet on that front. But then out of the blue, 2K Games announced it was coming to PlayStation Vita. And when they announced that, it was out already. So it's available to download in Europe for £15.99 and in North America for $19.99. This took a lot of people by surprise because there wasn't a big fanfare. They just released it. And then they did like a social media post saying, oh, it's out on Vita, by the way, now.
Oh, wow.
I think that's a good way of doing it, actually, because like people weren't expecting it. So it's like an extra bit of joy for people. And also, coming from 2K Games, I've been speaking about this quite a lot over the past few months. Civilization Revolution 2 Plus, which was initially supposed to be released in December last year, then it was pushed to January, and then it was pushed back to middle of this year. Well, we've now got a release date for that as well. We can get Civilization Revolution 2 Plus on PlayStation Vita from March the 29th. So not that long to wait at all. That's next week, Chris. That's very exciting.
That's cool.
So I just hope it doesn't get to what happened last time when it was the day before, and then they said, oh, by the way, it's not coming out for another month. So we wait and see. But I'm really interested in this game. Another strategic game where you get to control worlds and build up an empire and things like that. I'm not normally into those sort of games, but I just think it looks really interesting. It looks like a perfect fit for PlayStation Vita as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. That's out next week. So 2 games out on PlayStation Vita. Hey, it's such a great time to own a PlayStation Vita. What idiot would trade in their Vita now, eh?
I know, probably the same moron who'd get rid of their 2DS.
Hey, I got my share of excitement from Pokemon X, I'll tell you.
No, you didn't. You only gave it half an hour.
The best bit is like I made my name the Big C. So like whenever anyone spoke to me in the game, they said, "Hello, Big C." That made my day every time I saw that. And there's a picture. I was looking through the pictures that we've uploaded to the Heroes of Handheld Twitter page, and I screenshotted me playing that game, the Pokemon X on my 2DS. And there's a bit where you're all sitting around a table with all these other people, and one of them goes to you, "Should we refer to you as Big C?" Hell yeah!
Always I remember.
Oh yeah, that was the highlight of that game. So that was it's exciting. One game's already out, and another one's coming out in a few weeks' time. One last bit of news: it's just about a new game that's coming to PlayStation Vita, and this is a twin-stick shooter called Laser Disco Defenders. So this looks a lot of fun. I'm just watching the trailer whilst I'm talking to you, lovely people. Very retro style, lots of flashing lights, awesome music. Very colourful character designs as well. It's a 70s inspired procedural twin stick shooter. It's coming to PlayStation Vita in 2016, and it's been developed by Out of Bounds. This was announced a few days ago. They're planning the release within the next 4 to 6 months. It worries me a little bit when these games are announced because they say it's going to be a few months, and it ends up taking years and years, and then we completely forget about it until like well, until like a few weeks before, and then we're like, oh yeah, I forgot that was a game we were interested in. The game revolves around intergalactic music contest, which decides who wins the mighty mirror moon. Whoever holds it can project their music across the galaxy, but the evil Lord Monotone, that's great, Lord Monotone, steals it, so the Disco Defenders must fight to get it back. So yeah, this sounds really interesting, and anything that's a twin stick shooter has a thumbs up from me. So it's always nice to hear about new games, new indie games coming to the Vita. And once again, why would anyone want to sell their PlayStation Vita when all these amazing games are coming out? Hey, talking about new games, well, not new games. I realized recently I'm a big fan of Rayman 3 HD. Rayman 3, the third game in the Rayman series. But I never played Rayman 2, which a lot of people say is one of the best games ever.
Yeah, that's
created.
the Pirates one. That's really good.
So I thought, you know what? I might see if it's on Vita. It is on PlayStation Vita, and it's £3.99, I think. So I think I'm going to be downloading that over the next few days, and I'm going to give that a go because I've always heard such good things about Rayman 2, but I've just never got around to playing it. And as I said, it is, a lot of people see it as one of the best games ever, basically. So yes, that's something I'm going to be playing in the next week. But before we leave you, Chris, hopefully you're prepared. We had a few emails before we had the week off last week, and which we're going to talk about. So I'm really hoping Chris is loading up the inbox and is ready to read.
Yeah, I'm super prepared. But if I wasn't prepared, I would take this opportunity to tell everyone that they can email us by sending us a message to heroesofhandheld@gmail.com. It really is that simple.
It really is that simple.
That email address, once again, is heroesofhandheld@gmail.com. It really is that simple.
Oh, what a robot. What a robot he was.
Today?
Say that again?
So, we have email, Colin Bird.
Yes.
It was from our rude American Goose.
You're going to have to start saying that again because you cut out just as you said you emailed it. Start again.
Rude a few weeks ago. He wanted to. He ask,
you literally keep disconnecting as you say it. You like go out.
Colin.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can now. So take advantage and tell me who emailed us, Chris. Who emailed us?
Our rude American listener Goose said, "Greetings, great job with the show. Hasn't missed a beat. He's got some questions and comments. He says, Colin, hashtag Team Chris Forever. He wanted to know, in Global Defense Force, which is called Earth Defense Force over there in America, do the soldiers name chant EDF, EDF, or do they say GDF, GDF?
The answer to that is that they say neither. They just say really over-the-top things like you'll get like a radio communication from someone who's on your team saying, "It's eating me! It's eating me!" You get a lot of that.
They never say GDF or EDF.
No, they don't. Sorry.
Goose also wanted to start the hashtag Let Emma Be Emma, which is a reference to our occasional host Emma, who's come in as a sub for Colin. Because apparently we keep doing the same Colin sex change joke. I don't think we're going to stop that joke. It's so funny. So why would we?
That's what gets us
out. I know. And Giz also said that he just got his own Deka Vita 7. It's the best and worst handheld ever made. He's been searching so long for it. It's all kinds of crazy. It's got a massive screen. He sent us a picture.
That's that really interesting thing, isn't it? Where you plug in a PlayStation TV and then you just basically use it as a big Vita.
It's really weird looking, but definitely have a look at it. Regular Vitas feel tiny now, and he's wanted me to ask why I've got rid of my Vita, which we kind of covered earlier on in the podcast. So yeah, hashtag Team Chris Forever, hashtag Let Him Be Ever, hashtag Your Rude American Listener Goose. Thanks for the email, Goose. You're a good egg. Do email us, heroesfoundhound at Gmail. If you've got anything to say, we'll read it out, unless it's offensive.
And thanks to everyone who's tweeted us over the past few weeks as well. We would read out your tweets, but we just have so many. We can barely keep up with them all, to be honest. We should hire an intern to do it for us. But thank you. We do really appreciate it, and we always try to.
Let Emma be intern.
Hashtag she should be our intern. She's got nothing else to do. Anyway, right, there we go. So thank you for listening, everybody. We've been Heroes of Handheld. If you enjoyed this podcast, tell your friends, tell your teacher, tell your pets, tell your family. Let everyone know how amazing we are, and spread the word of handheld gaming and Heroes of Handheld. Thank you very much. Chris said how you can email us, heroesofhandheld@gmail.com. We're on Twitter @handheldpodcast. You can find all our previous episodes on heroesofhandheld.com, where we also put the article for each episode up there as well. We're also on Stitcher. We're on iTunes. We're everywhere. Just search Heroes of Handheld Podcast and you'll find us straight away. If you want to send us your fan mail, if you want to send Chris naked pictures of yourself, you can address your mail to PO Box 123, Pineapple Building, London, N1T2. That's the postcode. Now that'll get to Chris.
Want it to get to me, make sure you mark it's Johnson.
Say that again. You cut out again.
If you want.
I'm sure Chris had a very funny joke there, but the internet connection's not good enough. Can all 4 people in your flat stop using the internet whilst you're doing the podcast, Chris? Please. Stop with the guitar. I've seen the picture. Stop playing Guitar Hero,
You know me too well. Well, Colin, have a nice week.
You too. It's been top fun, and we should play some Killzone soon. Oh, wait. We can never do that again. We can't play Minecraft anymore. So the world I've created in Minecraft will now be empty forevermore, thanks to you.
You'll always just be waiting for me to come back, and I'll never be there.
Yeah, and I just fall down holes and die, and then you take all my loot. Thank you for listening, everybody. See you next week. Have a great week. Goodbye.
Bye.